Hi Recap fans, glad to have you with me this week. In doing research for this week's report, I came across a very interesting subject, a series of crimes that took place here in Vero Beach some time ago. And that's the subject of this week's investigative report, Murder in Vero Beach. Serial killers get caught in a number of ways. Mostly it's as a result of painstaking, diligent police work. But sometimes luck plays a role. Luck in the form of a 15-year-old boy on a bicycle. Here's our report. July of 1983 was hot, really hot in Vero Beach. And Vero Beach then was an even sleepier town than it is today. It's famous for only two things, its beaches and being the spring training home of the Los Angeles Dodgers. But it was so hot, this day, July 26th, the two girls decided to hitchhike up the road to Vero Beach. The two girls were 17-year-old Lynn Elliott and 14-year-old Reagan Martin. They were both students here at Vero Beach High School in July of 1983, the day that they decided to hitchhike to Vero Beach. The girls were hitchhiking right here on Route A1A when they were picked up by a truck driven by two men, David Allen Gore and Fred Waterfield. David Allen Gore was born in Vero Beach in 1953. He spent most of his life working in orange groves in and around Vero. And he became an auxiliary deputy sheriff, which actually led him to a short prison term that ended in early 1981. Fred Waterfield, for his part, was Gore's cousin. He was a little bit older. He was born in New Jersey, but he grew up in Vero. The two of them became exceptionally close, and the upshot was that they found that they shared the same perverted pleasures. Gore and Waterfield took the girls to Gore's parents' house, right behind me. A short while later, a 15-year-old boy riding his bicycle down this dirt road saw Lynn Elliott come flying out of the driveway and was followed by David Allen Gore, who shot her twice in the head.
I heard this screaming, and this man was chasing this young girl, or lady. Then I saw him dragging her back towards the house, and I heard two shots.
Told his mother called the cops. And after a 90-minute standoff, Gore was arrested. They found Lynn Elliott's body in the trunk of his car, but they were able to save Reagan Martin. After his arrest for the murder of Lynn Elliott, Gore confessed that he and Waterfield had actually committed 5 previous murders, all in the Vero Beach and 2 in the Orlando area. He was tried, convicted, and sentenced to death. After 28 years on death row, Gore was executed on April 12, 2012. Waterfield, for his part, is serving 2 consecutive life sentences in a Florida prison. As for the victims, some of them are not forgotten. Well, if it wasn't for that 15-year-old boy on a bicycle, how many more lives would have been lost? How long would it have been before Gore and Waterfield were caught, tried, and sent away not to hurt anybody else? Who knows? But thank goodness for that kid. There's a lot more to this story than I was able to include in this brief report. Things like decapitation, dismemberment, feeding bodies to alligators, and so on. If you want to find out more about it, go on YouTube, put in David Gore, and you'll come up with some very, very fine documentaries that were done on this subject. In news from New Jersey, Kathleen and Paul Jordan put a pool in their backyard, and here's Mary Kate demonstrating it.
Hi, Pop, I got it.
Now also in New Jersey news, Dennis took some video of Tim taking batting practice, and he asked for my comments. Well, it looks to me like Tim is a pretty good hitter. I was looking to compare them with Met sluggers, and the only left-handed slugger that I could come up with quickly was Keith Hernandez. If you look at Keith's swing and compare it with Tim, what you would say is that Tim should get more bent over and twist around back towards the catcher so that he kind of uncoils as the pitch comes into the plate and maybe develop a little extra power. This week on Instagram, I posted this little sequence. And I promised that I would explain how I did it. And as you can tell from this, it's just a series of still photos and then letting the computer do its thing. And what the computer does is to create the kind of effect that you saw in Terminator 2, where the bad Terminator turned into liquid steel and changed shapes and all that kind of stuff. I don't know why I made this other than to just see if I could do it, but there it is. Anyway, that's this week's report. Nothing special in Florida, nothing special at all. And I hope you're all still doing well with this lockdown. We'll see you here next week. Take care.